Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is episode 3 of my Forest Party Stamp Set of the Month series. This week I am making a Slimline shaker card scene, and I am bringing in another stamp set that goes really well with this Forest Tea Party set to do so. So this is the stamp set of the month, Forest Tea Party from Trinity Stamps. I have all the images stamped out already because I did that on episode 1 for all the episodes, but I am going to throw in some images from the Mouse House set. So I'm going to stamp out all 3 of the cute little mice in this set, and there are some mushrooms and a little cube of cheese. It's a triangle of cheese. I'm going to throw that in there as well. So I'm going to stamp those out with some Copic friendly black ink, and then I will set to coloring them all. This week I'm going to show you how I colored out the stump, and starting with E23 as my lightest color and just kind of laying that down really lightly, really quickly. It doesn't have to be perfect because I will be coloring over the top of it. So that is my first and lightest color there, and I'm kind of flicking it in towards the center and leaving a center highlight. Then my darkest color is E29. So now I'm laying in where I want those shadows and darkest places to be with this darkest Copic marker. And then I just kind of want where it touches the ground to be a little bit darker, so I add some lines there as well. My mid-tone marker is E27, so now I'm going to color over what I already colored with that E29 marker and make that area larger as I color over it. So now I'm working that E27 farther out. And then it's time just to go back over everything with the E23 marker, and it is definitely time to re-ink this marker. I think I need to order some refills in my very near future. I'm also going to use my white Jelly Roll pen to add some highlights to all of the places on this log where I want like the light to touch it. So there we have all the images colored out and all the markers I used to color them, and I didn't use all the images in the Forest Party set, but I wanted to use some to create a teddy bear picnic. Every time I play with this stamp set, the song Teddy Bear Picnic goes through my head. If you don't know it, you should look it up because it's super cute. All right, so I'm bringing in this Foliage Frame die from Trinity Stamps. You can see it's a slimline die. It creates a frame, and it also has several small dies that you can create flowers and branches and leaves to go with it. So I'm going to use a few of those as well. I die cut this out from some light green cardstock and totally planned on using this for the front of my card, but in the end I actually ended up die cutting it from a darker color. But there you can see how gorgeous that is, and imagine all the things you could use that frame on. It's so pretty. Okay, next I'm going to play with the Layered Birch dies. They're stencils, you know what I mean, right? There are, let's see, 4 stencils in this set, and there are masks of the trees as well. As you can see, I'm popping them out right now. This is the first time I've used this die set. I think it's fabulous, but here I'm going to lay them out on my black mat so you can see how you can use all of these at the same time and layer them up to create depth and dimension and a tree foresty type background. There's also a decorative edge on the 4th stencil that has falling leaves that you could use to create the ground. So I am going to tape this in place and add some ground espresso ink in Distress Oxide, and I'm just going to move my stencil down the paper. I actually brought in another stencil. You could use the same one, move it down, and then I'm going to keep adding more trees. I brought in a different stencil, and you can see I just looked through the stencil and figured out where I could lay in the trees where there was an open space but slightly overlapping the tree next to it. So once that's taped in place, I'm going to do ground espresso one more time and do a whole second layer. And it's coming along so beautifully. I did go back and fill in a few spots here and there, this time using antique linen. I wanted a really full forest scene for this card. So there's all my trees, but it needed a little greenery. So I brought in my Rustic Wilderness, which I seem to be using all the time. It's my go-to green. I'm going to splatter this. So I just smooshed it down on a window sheet. I wet my paintbrush and I drag the paintbrush on the edge of my window sheet. And there I get some very fine splatter, and it's going to give me some green on here. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. Right here, I was hating this background. I let it dry, and then I thought I just need more green. So I brought back the Rustic Wilderness, went all the way around the edge. It's looking a little crazy, but when I put that green over the top, it really softens out that green sponging, but it adds more depth to my picture, my background. Yeah. All right, so now I've added glue to the back of that frame, and I'm gluing down a window sheet that is 8.5 by 3. I used these two little rounded flowers, and there are also circles. It's kind of an off circle. It's not perfect. And those are going to be the centers of these flowers. So the larger one gets the center glued on top. The smaller one gets a center glued to the back. So now I have 6 large and 6 small flowers, and I will add the backs to them, and then, or the yellow parts to them, and then I can add those later to my card. But first I wanted to go ahead and get my scene created, so I'm just going to glue everything down. Nothing on this is going to be popped up because it is a shaker card. I don't want those shaker elements to be stuck underneath something that's popped up. So I'm just creating the little scene, and I feel like the bear invited the mice to this lovely party or teddy bear picnic in the woods, and they kind of took over, and now he's not sure it was such a good idea. So there they are, all ready for their party, and I am adding my foam tape to that frame now so I can have a shaker. This is foam tape from Heffy Doodle, and I was trying to decide between the strawberries. The strawberry is the one I had planned for this card. They're so super cute, very thin clay elements, but there's also cheese. But I really felt like this card kind of went in the direction of strawberries, and so I'll save the cheese ones for another shaker card. So I'm going to sandwich those two pieces together with the foam tape sticking on and holding them together. There it is. Isn't it cute? All the strawberries flying around, the mice grabbing all the food. Yeah, they're having a good time, but the bear's not so sure. So I thought these white flowers with the yellow centers were really cute, like the flowers that grow on a strawberry plant before the strawberry blooms. So I added those to the front, and it just really helped create this kind of strawberry feel to my card. I actually have a strawberry plant in my backyard, and it's kind of getting a little bumper crop, and I saw a yellow flower on it this morning when I went out to check on all the things. I also have tomatoes, and they were so cute with some yellow flowers on them, or these white flowers with the yellow center. So it kind of inspired me to add them to this card, and there you go. Isn't it cute? All right, let's add a sentiment. So I have the sentiment from the Mouse House stamp set that says, "Have a mice day." And I'm going to emboss that with white powder on some red paper. And I found this scrap that was already cut with a banner die, so it was perfect. I used it. Now I'm going to cut off the end so I can tuck it under those flowers, and I'll glue it in place. I'm going to kind of have it go on at an angle. It just kind of happened, and I thought, oh, that's cute. I'm going to leave it at an angle instead of making it go on perfectly straight. I kind of liked that. Okay, so now I'm adding this to a card base that is 8 3/4 by 7.5. So it's just a little bit bigger than my card front, which is 8.5 by 3.5. So you just want to score that at 3 1/4, and then you'll have a perfect card that is a little bit larger than the frame. So that's it for me today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and this card making series. It's always fun to do. I have all the supplies I used listed and linked for you below, so you can check those out. And I do want to say I appreciate you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting. I love chatting with you and clicking and shopping my affiliate links. It is so very kind of you, and I appreciate your support. I will see you all again next Tuesday for episode 4 using this same stamp set, and I have videos in between now and then too. So I'll see you all again very soon. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe and ring the little bell, and YouTube will let you know next time I have a video. All right, happy stamping. Bye.